Yeah, I think you know, transition to defending, we struggled with tonight there, especially in the first half. I was really, really happy with the response at halftime. I thought we put them under it for until their second goal. I think when you look at, the chance creation there in the second half, that was more like us. That was more, our expectation. But again, we got to finish our chances. Um, it's a group that's obviously really down right now. But I was extremely proud of how we started the second half. Ultimately, all we can do is keep our heads up and put ourselves in a position to be prepared. Next week. But again, obviously not happy with the result.
You feel is it a mental thing? Is it injuries? I know you had to change your lineups around quite a bit, including tonight with a little bit different formation to start the game.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of things, and confidence is lacking obviously in front of goal. You can see that. We've continued to try to make sure that we're working on that. Um, the injuries at the moment are not good. They're tough injuries. They're not, again, not really muscular. They're 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 a lot. So we're trying to work through what that looks like for some of the guys. There's a few long-term injuries in there that we haven't announced yet. And at the moment, we need to make sure that we find solutions and that we try to do a good job of getting the guys that can get healthy as soon as they can. So um, I'm still confident in the quality of the group that we have. And it's making sure that we keep our heads up, that we understand that there's a lot of football left to be played. And we need to make sure we try to take advantage of our game in hand and continue to climb, so that's kind of where we're at right now.
You bring back so many guys from a team that's so successful. Does that add pressure because they feel like they have to be where they were last year? Does it sort of like situation when you talk about confidence things that's kind of built from your own success?
Yeah, I think obviously we want to be exactly where we were last year at this time from a points perspective. When you look at the records that we broke and the things that we did last year, our expectation this year was to be able to do it again. And again, there's still a lot of football left to be played. To your question about do I think that it adds pressure to the guys? Maybe. But it's also, we've been in high pressure moments. We've played in high pressure games. And really that pressure is internal. It's not outside noise. It's not coming from anybody but ourselves, because we understand our expectation. But again, it's taking it one game at a time at this point. It's trying to make sure that we get guys healthy. That's a big piece of it, and doing everything we can to respond.
Last year, you guys averaged close to 2 goals per match. This year, it's
Yep.
closer to one.
Yep.
Have you, when you look at it, are there one or two things that pop out and what the difference is?
Yeah, I think quite a few things. Number one, continuity, relationships on the field. They're changing week in and week out, and sometimes that can play a role in it. Number two is the confidence piece of it. When you're missing some of the chances that we're missing. I think for players, it's natural for doubt to start to creep in, but it's trying to reassure them that those goals are going to come. Are we creating enough chances to score goals? I thought in the second half we did. We're one header away from tying the game there before they go down and get their third. So, it's many different things, but I think lack of finishing some of those opportunities and confidence creeps into it.
The match started with a pretty unique look. I specifically went to ask about Elijah starting in the back. I don't recall seeing that before. What was the thought process of that?
Yeah, a lot of quality with the ball, and we felt that his ability to win his aerial duels, which you saw really when he was back there, and also when we pushed him back into the midfield. Injury to Scarlett played a role in that. I felt in the back three he did a really good job there. Didn't cost us anything, and I thought he was good on the ball. Ultimately, we made the decision to change the shape at halftime. I think it was the right decision, and the players did a really good job with that. When we moved him into the midfield, I thought he did a good job there too. So The biggest takeaway for us is making sure to try to, when we're in that back three, manage transition a little bit better. Because our wingbacks were getting really, really high, and it was causing us some problems once they cleared the ball, and us having to defend, 60, 70 yards the other way.
You had a couple guys who made either first starts this season, first starts for you period, and just the thought that went into those decisions and how you saw them.
Yeah, so we felt that Owen in this shape, he's been training really, really well. He's played a game. He's been playing minutes with our USL Academy League team, and they played in that game in a back three as well. Thought he did an excellent job in that, and he's been training really, really well. So when we look at where us needing to make sure we create more opportunities, we felt that with his pace and and the quality that he's had over the last few weeks, we'd given him an opportunity. In Martin, it was about getting good size up there, his ability to run the channels, and try to work off Cam. And I thought he did a pretty good job as well. I ended up making the change in the shape, and he ended up being the victim of that. So I had no issues with his performance. I thought Owen did a good job tonight. He picked his head up after the own goal. He's super unlucky. I was really happy with how the team rallied around him. It's easy to put your head down in that moment in your first start, but for him, young kid, hasn't started a game since last year for the first team. There's some areas he needs to improve, but he should be proud of his performance.
You tell him the stat keeper gave it this.
It did?
Yeah.
Oh, great. So,
have you seen enough of Martin to know that you have another option at least? Like, is it give you something to work with this season?
yeah, I think it's going to continue to push Cam and Wilson and Martin to be better. It's my job to make sure that I'm putting somebody on the field that gives us the best chance to win the game. The way they've all been training has been excellent. And I felt Cam and Martin did a good job working off each other this week in the shape, which was the only real reason, that we looked to start the two of them. Wilson had done nothing wrong. I think he's been working extremely hard higher up the field, and he gets rewarded obviously very quickly there when he gets into the game.
You talk about getting confidence or regaining confidence. Is that up to each individual player to sort of build it back, or is there something you can do to help get it back? How does that work out?
I think it starts with us as a staff to make sure that they understand that there's still full belief in the group from us, making sure that they learn where we want them to be better, but also supporting them and letting them know that the goals are going to come. So I think it's a little bit of a combination of both. And again, ultimately, I think it's fair to be frustrated about obviously the result and obviously where we are from a goal scored standpoint. But I got to do a good job of making sure I continue to work on it and look to fix it for the group.
West went off late.
Tosh had told me that he needed to come off because he had felt something in his hamstring. But then when he was coming off, he said he was good, but that he just needed to get a little bit of water. So I thought it was worse than it was based off, but I tried to make a decision quickly so that, we weren't down a man.